This is Michael Terrace with Clearview Sewer Cams. It is April 11th, 2023. We're performing a waste line and sewer line inspection through the cleanout that is underneath the house. It is ABS plastic and then transitions to what we believe is cast iron where it comes outside the house. So we're underneath the house right now. And we are located at 11725 Sunshine Terrace in Studio City, California. We're going to zero out our camera monitor right here because we've already got 15 feet of cable out just to get to the clean out underneath the house. And we're going to begin pushing through. Making a turn. Now we're transitioning right here to cast iron and we're dropping down. And we're coming outside the house now. Making another turn. And we're going to locate this later on our way back at probably about 12 feet. So pushing out slowly and we're going to make a turn. We're in the cast iron. Okay, we made another turn. Hopefully we don't make too many more turns. It's very difficult to get through a line like this, especially with cast iron with too many turns in it. It's very difficult to get all the way out to the city sewer. We're going to continue to push out. I believe we're running down the left-hand side of the house now and running out toward the city sewer. We're going to run out quite quickly as we are right now, and then when we pull back, we'll pull back a little bit slower and take a real good look at the line. We may need to run water also to try and get out all the way, so it's kind of difficult to see the exact condition of the pipe when we're running water and having to push out quickly. Made another turn. We're going to make another turn. Now it's getting a little more difficult to try and get out. So we're going to pause for one moment. Okay, we've got water running. We're going to try and continue to push out. See if we can get through these turns. Yep, got through the turn. Now we're pushing out. Attempt to push all the way out to the city sewer. And then we'll shut the water off and take a look at the line. We got, looks like some roots possibly in a vitreous clay lateral. We're going to continue to push out. We're making a turn. And we're going to pause right there. I'm going to pause here and locate this area. Okay, we're going to begin pulling back slowly. I believe we passed the inlet. We're going to pause for one more moment. Pause. Okay, we're going to continue pulling back now. Trying to look for that saddle fitting. I think we're about 15 feet inside the city sewer. Still got water coming more than likely from the neighborhood into the city sewer. Should be able to see a sweep or a fitting coming up. So we're going to pull back slowly. Looking for that fitting. I believe we might be getting close to it right here. Going to keep pulling back, and right here is our drop into the city sewer, and that's the edge of our saddle. Now it appears that the saddle fitting also, right where we pull back to, has a fairly large crack. You can see it from about the 6 o'clock area on the camera monitor up toward about the 11:30 area. We're going to pull back very slowly. Yeah, we got a good sized chunk right there out of the saddle that's cracked. And we're going to continue to pull back slowly. Check the next fitting. We're going to push in just a little tiny bit. Push in just a little tiny bit, right there. Now we're going to pull back real slow. It's hard to see if we have a crack right there or not. We're going to blow that up on our laptop back at the office and we'll take a look. It could be just a marking in the vitreous clay. So we're going to continue pulling back. That next joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. So we're going to go slowly. We have a little bit of root intrusion at the top of this joint, but nothing terrible. And pull back slow. Now we have more root intrusion in the next joint. That's a considerable amount of root intrusion right there in that joint. And it's growing along the top of the pipe, and it's also in the next joint. And it's at the top of the pipe right here. We've got quite a bit, and we have a break. We're going to push out just a tiny bit. Just a little tiny bit, and we're going to pause right there. We have a pretty major crack right there, so we're going to pause for one moment. We're going to continue pulling our camera back. Pull it back slowly, Nathan. We're going to pull the camera back and take a look at the other joints. We're going to go back. We've already seen these all the way to where we had that other break, so we'll start going slower at that point and take a good look. Okay, start going a little bit slower, Nathan. Coming up to that joint. Should be right here. So that's where the other break is, and you can see it a lot more pronounced now.
Is this the break too?
No, that's an offset. That's a shift in the pipe where it's not lined up perfectly.
What's the solution for that?
Well, if you line it, it just goes right over it. Either that or you replace it. If you replace the lateral, you're probably looking at about $25,000.
Does the liner provide stability over like
a little bit? So, a little bit.
So the liner's just like a cheap fix.
It's a very thin. It's like a cloth sock soaked in epoxy.
If this
it gets blown into the line.
If this was your house, what would you do if you're going to live here for a while?
20 years.
I would replace it.
And how much is it to
because
replace it?
About $25,000. If you put a liner in, more than likely the roots are going to penetrate. It may be a year, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. But with the tree roots in this area, I've put a lot of them in this area and all through Hollywood Hills and all over this Studio City. When I have large trees like this, I try not to put the liners in. And I have to tell you, I give 1 year warranty. And a lot of guys, there's guys out there that are giving 15-year warranties on these things. But half the time when you get them, you can't get a hold of them, or the name changes in a year or two.
Can you tell if they're aggressive, the roots?
The what? I'm sorry?
Can you tell if the roots are aggressive?
Well, they're in the line. They're in the line, but like I said, these aren't terrible. The thickness of the roots is what I'm more concerned about. I mean, you could try this. This one, I wouldn't be as apprehensive to stay away from it as I am most. We'll see what the rest of the line looks like too.
Okay.
More than likely, the roots are pushing on this line, and that's probably what broke it to begin with. That's what usually happens. So we're going to continue to pull back. We'll look at the rest of this line.
And what is this line made of?
This is vitreous clay. This is like pottery, but it's very heavy gauge. It's good piping. It's thick piping, and it would hold up a long time if the roots don't penetrate it or shift it. A lot of times they shift it and crack it and break it. Okay, pull back slow, Nathan.
All right,
Keep
so
going.
maybe here, can you...
We got another area. Okay, and we got another area right here at 74 feet 2 inches where we have root intrusion, pretty heavy root intrusion, a little heavier than the other area. And I don't see a break though. I can't see the top of the pipe, unfortunately. We're going to pull back very slow, Nathan. The roots may be covering it. You got roots here, you got roots all around here. So I can't really see great. It's not as thick as some that I see. Some of them I see, they're as thick as my thumb. And that's bad. That I know for sure that the roots are going to grow through. But still, even here, that's pretty thick. We're going to continue to pull back. Pull back slow. Okay, that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Pull back slow. Coming up to another joint, Nathan. There, slow down. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Pull back slow. Okay, and we transition to cast iron right there. Now you can see how rough it is. Okay, it's just old steel pipe. It's cast iron pipe, and you get a lot of corrosion buildup, scaling, and it looks like nodules on the bottom of a boat, barnacles. And it can sometimes be cleaned. I don't know, what was the age of the house? 1960? 30 something?
Let me just double check on that.
The house looks to be in pretty good condition.
Yeah,
though.
it's in the 30s.
Yeah, for the 30s. And it's probably original.
Pull back a little more. I want to see more of it.
Pull back, yeah.
Yeah,
We're going to
so just
continue
seeing
to pull
the
back.
beginning of it.
Everything that I saw in the cast iron, though.
This looks like every other cast iron that we see.
Yeah, this is typical. You've got the scaling, the buildup. Can't really see too much unless you see.
What's that?
That.
What's that?
That's a piece of debris, something that went down into the line. Pull back slow. Looks like a wipe. Yeah, it looks like a piece of a wipe or something.
Looked like a branch. And I was
Yeah,
like,
no. That looks like a wipe.
It should have turned.
Yeah, making a turn. And again.
There's another wipe.
Yeah, another
These
wipe or
babies.
something.
Yeah, 1936.
Thank you. We'll keep pulling back slowly, Nathan. Pause for a moment. The cast iron of that era was 10 times better than what the cast iron is of nowadays. I have to replace cast iron piping in subterranean garages in different places where I know it's only going to last about 15 years. This stuff, sometimes it'll last 60, 80 years.
wow.
Sometimes more. They say that somewhere between 70 and 80 years is pretty much the end of its life expectancy. So
we're there.
You're pretty close, but it could still last another 10 years. We don't know. But
So
this is not terrible. This is not terrible. If you had to replace this, we would excavate like right here where this green mark is, next to the sidewalk, excavate next to the fence where it transitions to that vitreous clay, and we would pull a trenchless sewer line.
Tell them what a trenchless
Your
sewer line
trenchless sewer line is a very heavy gauge plastic rubber combination. You know, plastic and rubber. It's somewhat flexible to a point, not completely, but it'll give a little bit, which is good if you have earthquakes, anything else. But this can be pulled trenchlessly. We put a steel cable through the pipe, the old pipe, and then it looks like an aluminum football with fins. The new pipe's attached to it, and that goes through hydraulically. We pull it through, and it breaks the old pipe out into the earth, and it pulls the same diameter pipe through. There's only two couplings would be where the green mark is and where the fence is. Not like the old pipe where you have couplings every 3 feet or 5 feet. This
Like
stuff
a
is
solid
fused. It's
all the way
fused
through.
together. It's fused together at
Less likely
500
for
degrees.
offsets.
Yeah. It's
It
fused-
also means that you wouldn't need to dig up the driveway.
Right, no, you don't have to do anything. You just
Okay.
pull from here to there. And you're also looking at maybe $5,000 if you did it at the same time that you did the lateral.
What's the lateral? I'm sorry.
That's the
That
part
was
in the
first-
street.
The very
It would be
first thing we saw.
$25,000.
Somewhere between 20 and 25
Yeah.
is what they've been running in this area. The depth is pretty deep. That's a lot of it. Major traffic control. There's a lot of mitigating factors that cost money.
And that goes from
It goes from about the fence area out to the city sewer. There's a manhole out in the street not too far.
so it actually, our line goes under the street.
Right, you own that as well. That's called the city lateral. Like the city.
I didn't know that
But you
existed.
own that.
So
Yeah.
how do you get underneath the street?
Same way again. You dig in the street, you dig on the property, but you pull a trenchless pipe.
So the city's okay with you digging in the street?
Oh yeah, you have to be licensed to do it.
Oh, yeah.
But
And then
once you get into the
patch
street,
and
it's
they
a-
patch up the street.
we have to do it. Whoever's doing it, you have to have a bonded sewer contract.
Okay.
And once you get into the street, it's more expensive. The last one I did was about 23,700, somewhere right in that range, and that was right by Laurel Canyon, Sunshine Terrace and Laurel Canyon area. We just did that about 2 months ago. Right now, some of the fees are dropping. They're ping-ponging a little bit, which is a little crazy. Normally the fees were about $2,800 for just a permit. They've gone down to $700 in some houses that we've done recently, and then I've had other ones now they're $1,800 again. So they're going up and down.
The city is
We
messing
can't-
around with it.
We,
Okay.
we can't gauge it. We can't judge it. We don't know
That's
what
fine.
they're going to
That's
do.
fine.
So anyway, okay. So we're going to continue pulling back now, and everything that I
halfway back.
saw. Say it again.
We're halfway back.
Yeah, everything that I saw, the cast iron was about the same. Go ahead and pull back, Nathan. Yeah, the cast iron was just rough. Had some areas where there's some lines in it, like in here. Keep going. Now, I don't know. Cast iron is very difficult to judge because we have some areas where we may have a line in the cast iron. We think it's a crack, but it's not really a crack. It's a crack in the buildup. So sometimes it's not a crack in the pipe. Most of the time when we have major issues with the cast iron where it's completely failing, we'll have a hole in it. Right now I don't have a hole in it that I can see. But again, it's
if
at the
there
end
was
of
a
its
hole,
life expectancy.
You would theoretically start to see roots because they.
Yeah, generally, they'll start growing through. They'll start growing through. Making a turn, coming back toward the house. We're right outside the house now, and
What was that? Go back.
go back in. Go back in a little
Another
bit.
claw.
Right. Okay. Right when he comes around, pull it out just a tiny bit.
Pull it out.
Just a tiny bit.
Okay, pull out slow, very slow,
Is this the?
very slow.
Okay. It was that. I was just.
It's
it was,
a coupling?
It was the transition.
Yeah, yeah. It's transition to plastic piping. Underneath the house, you have plastic ABS plastic piping, which is newer style sewer piping, and you got some debris. There is a leak from the toilet in this bathroom. When you flush the toilet, it leaks under the house. This, I think it's a small hall bath. Small hall
It
bath.
leaks into the in the crawl space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Nathan was under there and somebody flushed the toilet and it started dripping.
How much? Like
Not a
small
lot.
drip?
Hey Nathan, that leak from the toilet,
Very much like
it's not a lot, right?
it looks nice. They did a good job.
Yeah, it's probably just the wax ring under the toilet. It's dripping a little bit, not terrible. Okay, we're gonna pause there. Nathan, pause there, and I want to just locate this area out here too. A mainline sewer cleanout should be installed. The rest of it looked fine. We're gonna go back out just a little bit and double check this area. So right there.
Okay. Well, that's the transition. You want to go a little bit more, right?
All right, go a little further.
So that first the 9 or the
Is that an
45?
opening down there, Michael?
So we're gonna pause our audio. So we're going to push in and try and get a depth by the front corner of the garage. Okay, right there.
Yeah. All right. You let me know if you want me to go further or backward.
Yeah, let me check it real quick.
Okay.
Where we're at. David, push in about 5 feet.
Okay.
4 to 5 feet. That's good.
Okay.
Push in another 10 feet.
Okay.
Okay. It's only 1 foot 9 inches deep all the way to here. So it's shallow. And you've got to be under the concrete to come out. If you can come out there, underneath, you want to come out the side, so it'd be deep there, but it would only be graded a little tiny bit. And then it would tie into this point down here. 1 foot 9 inches deep. So it can be done. It is a little bit expensive. A little labor. Yeah. Just like that. We don't lose it. You can go ahead and pull back and complete.
Now we'll conclude our video sewer and waste inspection.